everybody.
Hi there, it's James.
And Paul.
And Chompers.
And we are doing a little bit different travel blog this time. While last time we did a travel blog, we were leaving Provincetown and got an unexpected invitation to friends of ours in East Hampton.
East Hampton, Long Island. And if you haven't looked at a map lately, Long Island is really long. And we'll get to that in a minute.
And we normally, don't do highways, don't do major cities. And so we're always on 2-lane roads and trying to take the road less traveled. But this time we had to explore ferries and New York City and Long Island highways and byways. So we thought we'd do a little travelogue on what it's like to travel in an RV through those areas. So the first thing we did.
So we're coming back from Provincetown, which is Massachusetts. New England states are small. And a friend said, hey, they live in East Hampton. They said, hey, do you know you can put the ferry, come visit us for a couple of days, put the RV on a ferry and cross the sound for an hour and a half and come visit us. And we didn't really even think of that. But of course, cars go on ferries, trucks go on ferries. So,
and apparently so do RVs.
Yeah,
so
it was really fun.
We left New London, Connecticut, and it was about an hour and a half.
To Orient?
2 hours, I don't know.
Orient Point
on the very tip of Long Island. And then we had to drive through very narrow 2-lane streets to get all the way to East Hampton, which is our second learning, which was taking streets and being cautious about how high your rig is.
A lot of overhanging trees. These are nice little alleyways, 2-lane roads. Can damage your rig, so you got to be careful about that.
And they actually had told us of a railroad bridge that our rig couldn't go under. So we were relying not only on our GPS, but on our friends' advice and Google Maps to find out the best way to get there without damaging our rig.
It was a learning curve for us thinking about it. Spent a couple of days with our great hosts.
Yeah, we had a great time. Thank
Glenn
you,
and Brett. Thank you very much. And when they sent us off destination Pennsylvania, they said, now be very careful about certain things. Avoid something called a parkway.
Which, oblivious to us, but apparently parkways were only designed for cars, not for trucks or buses. And so everywhere we looked, if we diverted off of a highway and it was a parkway, it would say, no passenger cars only, no trucks allowed. So,
and they would have the height limit, believe it or not, but
so
we didn't know that.
Learning number 2, know the height of your rig, including the air conditioner and all that. When you're driving through areas like this, you really need to pay attention to that. So let's see, we took over what we ended up doing is we stayed on the Long Island Express and stayed on interstates. So if you stay on interstates that are numbered, what was it, 495?
495 and 295, and you're pretty much guaranteed because they're interstates.
Yeah, so those are built and they have very high bridges and you don't have any clearance issues there. But the third learning we had was traffic going through New York City. What was that like,
We
James?
spent about an hour going through the Bronx, basically, before the George Washington Bridge.
4 miles through the Bronx. It took over
creeping
an hour.
Creeping along. I made lunch while we were creeping along. We ate lunch while we were creeping along.
So I guess the learning of all this is it is possible to drive your RV through New York City and through Long Island and urban areas, but really you need to understand your rig's dimensions and heights.
Sometimes it just makes sense getting from point A to point B. But again, what are you going to do with a rig when you get to a major city? So it's camping. We're not going to them. But sometimes point A to point B, you got to kind of traverse urban areas. And there's a couple of words of warning just so you kind of know what we ran into and what we learned.
Yep.
So with those words of wisdom, if you have any information about putting rigs or cars or things on ferries and fun stories, let us know. Thanks for watching as always.
Like and subscribe as we always say. And a word of wisdom.
Something to say.
If you want something you've never had, you have to try something you've never done. Isn't that true?
That makes perfect sense.
Until then, travel on and thanks for watching.
Stay safe out there.
All right.
Bye-bye.